Verena hurried towards the entrance. As she reached the door of the Free Company house, it swung open. Maple stood there, her expression a blend of surprise and amusement. "What in the heavens are you wearing, Verena?" Maple asked, unable to hide a smirk. Verena blushed, fidgeting uncomfortably. "It's the youth potion. I think it worked too well. It turned me into a baby, or at least dressed me like one." Maple's eyebrows rose in disbelief, but then she chuckled, stepping aside to let Verena in. "Well, let's get you sorted out. We can't have you running around like this, especially not in public. Come in, and we'll figure this out." As Verena entered, she glanced down at her outfit, the thick diaper rustling conspicuously with each step. "I swear I followed the recipe exactly. Cooking Whey was so confident it would bring back some youthful energy, not turn me into an actual infant." Maple led Verena to a secluded room, closing the door behind them for privacy. "Let's see if we can reverse this, or at least figure out what went wrong. Do you still have the potion recipe and the rest of the ingredients?" Verena nodded, pulling out the crumpled piece of paper from her bag and handing it over to Maple. "Here, everything's there, exactly as Cooking Whey listed it." Maple studied the recipe carefully, her fingers tracing the lines of text. Everything seems standard for a rejuvenation potion, except for this moon glue. That's not a common ingredient. Maybe it reacted differently than Cooking Whey anticipated." They spent the next hour mixing and matching the remaining ingredients, trying different alchemical formulas in an attempt to counteract the unexpected transformation. Verena grew more anxious with each failed attempt, the realization sinking in that this might not be as simple as she had hoped. Maple finally set down her latest concoction, wiping sweat from her brow. "This might be beyond what we can fix on our own. We might need to consult Cooking Whey again or another expert in alchemy." Verena sighed, sitting down heavily on a chair, the diaper crinkling loudly under her. "I guess that's our only option. I just hope we can sort this out before anyone else sees me like this." Maple gave her a reassuring pat on the shoulder. "Don't worry, we'll figure this out together. Let's pack up and head to the Laporit's quarters. Cooking Whey will surely have some idea of how to reverse this." With a plan in mind, they gathered their things, Verena donning a large cloak to cover her unusual outfit. Despite the gravity of the situation, they couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all as they prepared to leave. "Next time," Verena muttered as they walked out, "I'm sticking to less dramatic potions." Maple agreed, chuckling. Or at least no more ingredients from the moon. As Verena and Maple made their way through the bustling streets of the city, Verena's cloak did a commendable job at hiding her unusual attire. But the rustling sound was hard to completely muffle. The pair hurried, hoping to avoid any curious glances that might try to peek beneath the cloak. They reached the Laporit's quarters, an area known for its colorful architecture and even more vibrant inhabitants. The Laporits, small, bunny-like beings, were known for their expertise in exotic and often eccentric magical recipes and devices. The quarter was buzzing with activity, but Verena felt a growing apprehension about explaining her situation. Maple knocked on the door of Cooking Whey's workshop, a small building adorned with glowing symbols and fluttering flags. The door swung open, revealing Cooking Whey, who beamed at the sight of them. "Verena, Maple, what brings you to my humble workshop today? And so hurriedly?" Cooking Whey asked, his ears twitching inquisitively. Maple took the lead, quickly ushering Cooking Whey back inside and closing the door behind them. "We have a bit of a situation with one of your potions, Cooking Whey. The youth potion you suggested Verena try. It seems to have had some unexpected effects." Verena, with a gentle nudge from Maple, reluctantly removed her cloak, revealing the baby clothes and thick diaper. Cooking Whey's eyes widened in astonishment. "Oh my stars! This is most unexpected indeed. This is supposed to rejuvenate, not regress," Cooking Whey exclaimed, hopping closer to examine Verena. "Let me see the recipe you used. There must be some clue as to why this happened." Verena handed over the recipe, and Cooking Whey scrutinized it with a serious expression. After a moment, his face lit up. "Ah, I see. It appears there might have been a misunderstanding in the proportions of moon glue and age flow ethers, and too much of one or too little of the other could indeed tip the balance towards, well, a more literal interpretation of youth." "Can you fix it?" Verena asked, her voice tinged with both hope and desperation. I believe so, yes, but it will require some specific adjustments and additional ingredients that are not common, even here. We will need starflower nectar and a pinch of duskroot. These components should help stabilize the potion's effects and bring you back to your proper age, Cookingway explained, starting to rummage through various containers and drawers. Maple watched as Cookingway gathered the ingredients. How long will this take? We don't want Verena to have to stay like this any longer than necessary. Just a few hours, I believe. These ingredients are delicate and need to be handled with care, especially when correcting such a potent potion, Cookingway replied, his tone meticulous and focused. As Cookingway prepared the new potion, Verena and Maple sat down, surrounded by the quirky and curious tools and gadgets of the workshop. Cookingway worked with a deft hand, mixing, grinding, and stirring ingredients into a new, shimmering concoction. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity to Verena, Cookingway presented a small vial filled with a liquid that sparkled like the night sky. Here it is. This should counteract the excessive youthfulness. Verena, please drink this, and with any luck, you'll be back to your usual self in no time. Verena took the vial hesitantly, her hands shaking slightly. She looked at Maple, who nodded encouragingly. With a deep breath, she drank the contents of the vial in one gulp. Almost immediately, she felt a warm sensation spreading through her body. The transformation was not instant, but within minutes the baby clothes seemed to grow into her normal armor, and the thick diaper transformed back into her usual adventurer's attire. Verena stood up, feeling her normal strength and stature returning. Oh, thank goodness, Verena breathed out, relieved. I thought I'd be stuck like that forever. Cookingway clapped his hands joyfully. Success! Oh, I am so pleased. However, I must apologize for the mix-up. I should have been more careful with my instructions. It's okay, Cookingway. It was an adventure at least, Verena replied, managing a smile. Maple laughed, patting her friend on the back. An adventure is one way to put it. Next time, let's stick to something less dramatic. With a final thank you to Cookingway, Verena and Maple left the workshop, feeling relieved and a little wiser about the unpredictable nature of magic and alchemy. As they walked back through the city, the normalcy of Verena's appearance was a comfort, and the whole ordeal became a story they would laugh about in times to come. End of Chapter 2. The day's events.